Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness and the Time of the Shift. I wanted to talk to you today about your God concept. In a time of accelerated change, in a time in which the environment around us is throwing so much stuff at us that it may feel emotionally like you're walking through quicksand, in a time where your mood and your perception of reality is constantly shifting and changing. It's important for us to understand that we have to cultivate a deep and profound relationship with our God concept. What do I mean by this? God, for most people on the planet, is like a curse word, because most of us have been damaged by the abuse of organized religion. We have been conditioned to think of God as the being that we were from the pulpit told to believe in. And that anything outside of that frame is heresy. Anything outside of that frame is something that is a sin, and therefore we cannot conceive anything out of that concept. I've spoken to many students and many clients about, and the question I've asked them is this: when I say the word God, what comes to mind? To a lot of people, it's going back to the church pews. It's this idea again of this vengeful, angry, judgmental being who is casting decree and causing a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. Okay? The God concept that you hold has nothing to do with because that system coming from a religious perspective is a system of control. It was only created by church fathers as a way for them to control what you do. The God concept that one should have is connected to how you perceive intimately your relationship to the creative principle. When I was 17 years old and I entered the mystery school, I love the way they put it. They talk about the God of your heart and the God of your understanding. Wherever you may be right now, I'm asking you to be aware of the God of your heart and the God of your understanding, because the chaos that exists in the outer world, the turbulence, the instability that feels like it's a bombardment, like every day there is some new news cycle or some atmospheric thing or some other political, social thing, or even energetic that's coming at you, making you feel terrified to some degree. You may have a few days reprieve and then it starts again like a roller coaster. The God concept is the only place during that entire transition and shift into higher density that will not change. And if you don't cultivate and have a relationship with that God concept, then you're lost. You're never going to make it. It's like trying to navigate without having a compass. You need to cultivate a deep, intimate, and profound relationship with your God concept, whatever that may be for you right now. Okay? And understand that if God is infinite and endless, then your God concept should be evolutionary. So the God concept that I have today will not be the same one that I will have at the end of the year. If I'm doing it right, it will stretch, it will expand, it will grow, it will continue. It's not that you're discarding what was there, the seed that was there before. It's like you're expanding it, and it's constantly expanding and become bigger and bigger, more expansive and more encompassing. To some of you, God may be some judgmental being passing judgment. To others, it may be energy. To others, it may be nature in the planet. To others, it may be something else. And as you begin to expand and grow, but the God concept has to be cultivated, which means that on a daily basis, you must communicate it with that force. You must actively be engaged in a dialogue. And that dialogue is the most important thing that you can have during the transition. That dialogue implies two things. Praying is talking to God. Meditating is listening to God. And a good spiritual practice must include both. You should be praying and you should be meditating. That way your desires, your fears, the turbulence, the things that make you scared, you can take all of it and surrender it to a power that's far greater than you and say, I need help. I am overwhelmed with feelings and emotion. Help me. And surrender all of it. Unburden yourself with the fear that is besieging you. And as you release this, at the back end of this, God will reciprocate. You will begin to feel an incredible sense of ease, a sense of repair, and perpetual blessing that's returning back to you. Now bring that blessing back into your body. It's important for us, especially now, that we maintain this dialogue. I do a practice every morning and every night to allow myself to maintain, and if I can during the day as well, depending on whether I'm busy or not busy, I try to do it at least twice a day so that I can maintain this relationship, because that's the only respite that I have. That's the only place that I can be where I can unburden, people. I'm counseling people all day. I'm helping people all day. Their burden, even if I am as neutral as possible, at some point when enough bombardment, because I'm coded, I'm a human being, I'm coded to the rest of humanity. So at some point, their fear begins to penetrate, and I can feel it coming on the edge, like this vibrating thing that's coming toward me. I have to unburden myself and say to God, please take this cup away from me. I'm terrified. Acknowledge the sensation and the feelings that you're having and unburden yourself. And when you begin to feel that this energy is responding to you, you will have intimacy with this being. You will have a sense of connection. You will have a sense that this force is there for you. I can honestly say that if I'm asking you right now, when I say the word God, what comes to mind? Think about it for a moment. And if it's undefined and it's unclear, you need to cultivate your relationship to your Creator. And God is not, for some people, it's Jesus. But the mistake that many people are making is that they are confusing Jesus the man as Christ the principle. Christ is a state of enlightenment. It's a state of divinity that any being on the planet in all the multiverse can achieve. Jesus happened to be one person that embodied that office. And for many, that's what it is. Now, you may start from there, but I guarantee you, if you're maintaining intimacy and that relationship can going back and forth without you limiting it to Jesus, the personality, and understand that you have to surrender it into the principle, a cosmic and universal principle, your God concept will grow. Stop trying to clip your wing because of a holy book. Let your heart lead you into an understanding of the divine that is personal and mystical. Not a dogmatic perception of your Creator that is dictated by a holy book. Allow yourself the privilege to become intimate with your Creator. Let God live in you. And the only way it's going to happen is by you allowing your heart to go into that space. And as this happens, intimacy is going to be created. And you and your God concept will continue to grow and evolve and expand until, and this is the only way that enlightenment can occur. Because what is enlightenment? It's merger with God. What is ascension? It's merger with God. I hope this planted a seed in your heart and in your soul. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Share if this connects to your intention in your heart. And click on the bell icon to be notified when we put another video up. I bless you. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you next week.